Thank you for watching. It's Randy Cryle. I want to do a quick video about a somewhat humbling experience Monday. I went down to the community blood center. It had been quite a while since I donated platelets and plasma. I typically do the apheresis. I ran 3 100-mile endurance runs this year with the training, the running, the recovery. I felt like I needed to back off of doing apheresis blood donations. However, on Monday, November 30th, I went in and went through the entire process. As a vegan ultra-distance runner, I've had to learn to adapt to make sure that my iron levels are high enough. And you can see here that my hemoglobin score, which is a measure of iron, was 14, substantially higher than it needed to be. Blood pressure, 116/64, that looked good. It says 0 pulse. I know that's not true. I'm not sure what that's about. So one of the things I had learned to do was to not overhydrate before having the blood draw done to test the iron level. And then before I hook up to the apheresis machine, which tends to be for an hour, I would drink quite a bit of fluid. So after loading up on spinach and almonds, high iron plant-based foods, everything went smoothly. I was hooked up to the machine, and after a short time it stopped. And the staff gathered around. They all knew about my diet is almost 5 years on a completely plant-based diet. So essentially a vegan diet. Nearly 5 years, and what they were concerned about was that my plasma was so cloudy that the machine actually shut down. And typically what that means is the person has had way too many cheeseburgers or whatever, high-fat, animal-based foods. I got the free shirt, and they probably had $150 to $200 worth of disposable equipment hooked up to the apheresis machine that they had to throw away. And I had put some effort into preparing for this in terms of the timing and food I was taking in and so forth. I had to get rested. And so she wrote a note on here. Plasma was lipemic. And so what is lipemic? Lipemia is simply an excess of fatty substances in the blood. So I had to stop and really think about what I'd been eating. So it's been nearly 5 years since I've had any meat, dairy, or eggs, yet the plasma that I could see in the clear plastic bag was so cloudy that they wouldn't take the platelets or the plasma. And I realized I'd had a huge handful of almonds that morning because almonds are a good plant-based source of iron. I had had a plate full of food that included half of an avocado, which is a high-fat source base of plant-based food, well described as butter that grows on trees, I guess. And I had tabbouleh that morning for breakfast, which had less oil than the recipe called for, but it had grapeseed oil in it. So, and you know, it was just a few days after Thanksgiving. When loved ones make special vegan stuffing for you that includes, say, Earth Balance or oils, you know, I enjoyed it. And there were other foods, but I think I'd kind of gotten into a bad habit of overloading on comfort foods and eating cashews in the evening to aid my sleep because cashews have tryptophan as well as mass quantities of fat. So after maybe getting a false sense of security after successfully completing 300-mile races, it's getting cold outside. I think my body's just craving comfort foods. And with the holidays, letting my good habits slide a little bit, it was sort of scary to see just how cloudy the plasma bag was. Now, Dr. Ruth Heydrich and Dr. John McDougall are big advocates of an oil-free, all plant-based diet. While I generally consider my personal diet to be probably top 1%, my plasma sure didn't look like it. That was a first, but it was an eye-opener. But now I see just how fast and how much plant-based oils and fats can get right into the bloodstream. I'm assuming my liver, possibly the kidneys, were kind of working overtime to clean that up. I don't think I want to do that again. It's time to get back into some good habits now that the gardening season is over. Maybe need to restart my sprouting routine and cut way back on, say, chips and hummus, which both have plant-based oils added to them. And just when I kind of felt like I'd figured out this whole aphoresis business, hopefully I can get back in there maybe next week and try the process over again. I've got 66 lifetime blood donations. I would like to keep going with that. While I feel it's very important to donate these products to help save lives, I think these videos that I've been putting together will hopefully convince a few people to change their lifestyle habits, and that would in the future prevent people from needing some of these blood products for their health concerns by simply preventing those problems. It's kind of amazing how when we put things into our body that are really not very good for us in excess, our bodies crave even more of those negative influences. So evidently, no matter how healthy we think we might be, gotta stay vigilant. Thanks again for watching. Subscribe if you haven't. Share the videos with people who might benefit. I'd sure appreciate it.